School district officials say a suspect in a shooting at a Dallas high school yesterday wounded 4 students, drew a heavy police presence, has been taken into custody. Dallas Fire Rescue says 3 of the students wounded by gunfire, while the 4th was injured in the lower body. And on Wall Street this morning, Dow futures down 50 points. More details at srnnews.com.
If you're 65 or older, you know this. Seeing your healthcare costs go up and up is frustrating. And maybe you were just notified that your Medicare costs are increasing again, or you're just tired of the massive deductibles. Well, here's some good news. There's a program that can really help with this. It's MediShare 65 Plus. It's an affordable, reliable alternative. You can choose any Medicare provider. You get telehealth access anytime you need it. And MediShare 65 Plus is a low-cost option for those with Medicare Parts A and B, and it fills in the gaps where Medicare stops. MediShare is a Christian healthcare community that aligns with your faith. People actually pray for you, they encourage you, and it's proven too. It's been going strong for over 30 years now. So call now. You can get one low monthly price for up to 10 years. You're not stuck with increasing costs. You can do something about this today. Call MediShare 65 Plus. Find out how much you can save. Call 833-SHARE-55. That's 833-SHARE 55. 833-SHARE-55.
Here is the latest news and information that impacts you. I'm Derek White. Today, roll up your sleeves and save lives. Colby Community College is hosting a community blood drive from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the Robert Burnett Student Union. Eligible donors age 16 or older in good health and weighing at least 110 pounds are encouraged to help meet the urgent need for blood. Donors will receive a t-shirt and a chance to win $5,000. Appointments are encouraged. Visit redcrossblood.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS to schedule. This week, Sherman County 911 Communications is celebrating National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. This annual event honors the dedicated men and women who answer emergency calls and coordinate life-saving responses. The week is recognized by both the Sherman County and Goodland City Commissions, who have issued official proclamations in celebration. To learn more, visit npstw.org. For more information on this and other stories, visit nwksradio.net.
Rocket 102.5.
This morning, we got temperatures starting in the 40s with a few upper 30s out there in Ray, Imperial, and Sterling. In those areas, winds are from the northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then areas south of I-70, where we have middle to upper 40s, winds are from a southwest direction at 5 to 10 miles per hour. This afternoon will be warm, but a little bit breezy and a quiet weather day as winds become more zonal and downsloping from a west-northwest direction at 10 to 20 miles per hour. This will push afternoon high temperatures in the low to mid 80s. Then tonight will be partly cloudy with a light north wind turning to the southwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour and a low in the upper 40s. A fire weather watch is in place for the counties along I-70 and south for tomorrow, with the winds turning to the south, 20 to 30 miles per hour and gusting 40 to 50. Temperatures will still reach into the 80s ahead of an evening and overnight cold front. This is meteorologist Chris Romick in the NWKS Radio Weather Center.
Happy Community Bank Month from all of us at Farmers State Bank of Oakley. We're proud to be your local bank, rooted and invested in our community since 1907. Thank you to our customers for your continued trust and loyalty. And if you're looking for a more local and genuine banking experience, come visit with us. We're ready to help. Farmers State Bank of Oakley, member FDIC.
Get wireless on your terms with NextTech Wireless. Choose from 18, 24, or 36-month agreements. With all the latest devices and a reliable network built for Kansans by Kansans, experience our service when and where you need it most. Plus, you'll receive a $100 Visa gift card on all new lines. Visit a location near you today. NextTech Wireless, connecting Kansans.
Spring is here, and Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware has everything you need for the season. Get your lawn looking its best with Ultimate Fertilizer and power up with Ego blowers and mowers. Got a project? They got a surplus of lumber ready to go. Plus, fire up the fun with their selection of grills and griddles. Hoover's is also proud to sponsor the Pioneer 5K, 10K, half and full marathon supporting Colby Community College cross country on April 26th and remind you to sign up and participate. It's Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby, your one-stop shop for spring.
Get ready for powerful deals at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Right now, drive home a 25 GMC Sierra 1500 Turbo Max with 0.9% financing or up to $7,800 in purchase allowance. Step up in luxury in a 2025 Sierra 1500 Denali and get up to $5,250 in purchase allowance. Or take on any job with the 25 Sierra 2500 with 3.9% APR or up to $2,700 in purchase allowance. These offers won't last. Rush into Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland today or shop online at hurlchev.com.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
This Friday, it's the annual NWKS radio auction on all 5 of our radio stations from 8:30 a.m. Central Time to 6 p.m. A full day of savings. Get that sale bill now online, nwksradio.net, or we will send a sale bill to your mobile device. Text the word auction to 785-460-0790. That's auction to 785-460-0790. And we'll see you here Friday for the NWKS radio auction.
Today on Hey Culligan, unnecessary contaminants. Here's the referee.
Hey Culligan, that's a flag on my water for flagrant foul taste.
Ooh, that's a tough one, ref, but the solution is a Culligan Smart RO drinking water system that reduces up to 58 contaminants, making your water safer and delicious.
Yeah, I guess I missed that call.
And with the Culligan Connect app, you always know when your filters need changing.
The water's up and it's good.
Good call, ref, and we're already on the way.
Contact Shepner's Water Conditioning in Goodland and Colby.
Hello, this is Nathan Lennon with Land of Legacy Real Estate. Our team is excited to announce the launch of our new app, which can be downloaded on the Google Play or App Store directly from your mobile device. With the dynamics in the real estate market, it is important to have a dedicated team who has the experience, ambition, and passion to help you achieve your goals. Whether you are considering selling your property or have questions, we invite you to give us a call or visit with a member of our team in person at 2402 Commerce Road, right here in Goodland, Kansas. Land of Legacy Real Estate, where people are our passion.
You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4!
It's the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
Being a Nebraska football fan these past few years and watching this team week in and week out, I kind of compare it to like doing drugs. You know you shouldn't do it, but you can't stop. Kids, don't do drugs.
The region's only local sports talk.
Not this again.
Yes, this again.
Broadcasting on Goodland's Rocket 102.5, simulcasting on Goodland's 730 Gold KLOE.
Guys everywhere.
Discussing it all from the preps.
Brumbaugh fakes the 3, fires it from the corner. Yes!
To the pros.
They set up the screen. McLaughlin has it with Miners in front. McLaughlin's got a first down inside the 10, inside the 5, touchdown Denver.
The Blitz is presented by Pearl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank, as well as the Insurance Agency, Farmer State Bank in Oakley, the Cowboy Corner Express, and Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell.
Let's go to work. Here's the pitch. There go the runners. That one's ripped into center field. That's going to drop in front of the center fielder for a base hit. Frost is going to try for third. The relay is in time. The run scores on the RBI single from Joshua Overbeek. And it's
high drive, deep left field for Manny Machado. At the wall, gone! Manny Machado connects on his second home run of the year. Padres take a 1-0 lead.
The pitch driven down the left side. Fair ball. It'll roll into the corner. Fielded there. They're going to send Moniak. McMahon scored. Relay to the plate is not in time. Mickey Moniak motors from first on a double by Jacob Stallings. 2 are home, and the Rockies are on the board.
Santos is straight. Curry from way outside. Got it! Hits it from Alcatraz. Morant the other way. Head of steam to the hole with an offhand layup. Curry the rebound. Morant is down. Now getting up. Curry. Here comes Moody.
Good Wednesday morning, everybody. Off and rolling here on a Morning Blitz, April the 16th. Glad you're with us here on Goodland's Rocket 102.5, nwksradio.net. Also, of course, the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream on Facebook, YouTube, and X. So glad you could join us here on this Wednesday. Another little cool start to the morning. Little cool, little light breeze out there, making things a little bit extra cool. But going to be the warmest day of the week, as what we're expecting today and tomorrow, I should say. Temperature is going to be in around the low 80s today before a very big cool off on Friday, with temps getting down to even below 50 degrees for most of Easter weekend, actually. Temperature is going to be no warmer than really 60 from Easter Sunday prior to that. So once again, 82 today and expected to be not too windy, honestly. I think today's going to be an okay day wind-wise, but tomorrow certainly be aware of some decent wind gusts. I think they have a no burn or red flag warning, whatever you want to call that. They have that coming out tomorrow, so be aware of that. It'll be a very windy and hot day on Thursday afternoon. But anyway, full show ahead today here on the Morning Blitz. As always, if you'd like to chime in on the F&B Bank text line at 785-899-2222. That's the number part of the Morning Blitz here on this Wednesday show. We'll be visiting today with Colby High School girls softball coach Tucker Branham. He'll be joining us on the program today in about 20 minutes or so to discuss the great season that Colby Lady Eagles softball is off to. The Lady Eagles coming off a sweep of Scott City yesterday, a couple of competitive games, but the Lady Eagles get it done, and they have really done a nice job in improving their record now to what is 8-4 on the season. With a couple more winnable series coming up here. So very good start to the season for Colby Lady Eagles softball, and their head coach in his second season, I should say, Tucker Branham, will join us coming up here on this Wednesday's program. We'll also get into some comments made by Travis Hunter, the reigning Heisman Trophy winner, about what he'll do when he goes to the NFL and is drafted, if the team does not let him play both ways. Some thoughts on that coming up here in today's program. And then a local guy continuing to move up the coaching ranks in the walk-off. We'll get to that all coming up here in today's program. So stick around for that. But I'm going to spend the first segment talking about a lot of local sports, because yesterday was a very busy day, or as I jokingly called it, National Sports in Goodland Day. There was a lot happening in Goodland, whether it was cowgirls softball or golf happening out at Sugar Hills, or of course the Goodland Track Invitational, which I popped by for a few minutes to check out some of that late in the day. So yes, plenty of things to get to in the local sports department here today. And I want to start first and foremost with golf. Really big tournament, of course, the Goodland Golf Invitational. We talked about it a bit yesterday. There were 7. That's what par is. My brain was looking at something and said it, but there were 19 teams that were there, 19 schools, I should say, that were there competing in the varsity standings, and a lot of good golf. In fact, it was very competitive. The Goodland Cowboys defended their home course. They played their home course. They knew it, and they defended it very well. They shot a combined score of 355 to finish in first place. And so the Cowboys defend Sugar Hills, get the top spot, but it was a very close, I thought, tournament throughout. Oakley came in second with a 362, just 7 shots back. Hoxie finished 10 shots back of the leader, Goodland, with a 365. And Scott City was just 2 shots behind Hoxie with a 367. So the top 4 spots were very, very close, I would say, by 12 strokes is all the difference that it was separated by. But it was the Goodland Cowboys that got it done, thanks to a couple of top 5 placers. Trent Sheldon and Barrett Schlosser both shot 85s. And according to the stats that I got to see from yesterday, I don't know who won the I believe I was texted this morning that Barrett Schlosser won the tiebreaker. But once again, Trent Sheldon and Barrett Schlosser both shot 85s. According to this, there was a log jam with guys at 85. In fact, I think 4 different guys shot 85. There was Trent Sheldon, Jackson Rumford of Scott City, Barrett Schlosser, and then, of course, Jeb Castins of Rawlins County making there at 85. So big thanks to those 2 guys finishing top 5. Also, Braylon Mole finishing inside the top 15 with a 92. There's quite a log jam at 92 as well. But then, you take in also Luke Thomas and Brody Schlosser, who both were just outside the top 20 with 93s. That's how the Cowboys are able to prevail on their home course, edging Oakley, who did have the top man at the individual results or the low score of the day. Easton Fink of Oakley shooting a 74, which, by the way, was 9 strokes better than Lakin's Noah Garcia, who was there competing for Lakin. So a very good showing from Easton Fink. As Raleigh Halligan put it, he must be a stick. He's a stick. He can go out there and he can play golf, particularly in that wind that was out there for most of the tournament. He's proven through the early part of these couple tournaments that Easton Fink is probably the best individual golfer, maybe in Northwest Kansas. He's won, I think, both invitationals that I've seen him in at this point in time. So Easton Fink finishing in first place yesterday at the Goodland Golf Invitational. Lakin's Noah Garcia finishing in second. Eli Jones, another one of the great multi-sport athletes of Norton, he finished in third, tied with Hoxie's Noah Dow, who's one of the great Kansas golfers in our Northwest Kansas region. And I talked about the big log jam there at 5. Sam Watkins of Hoxie finishing in 10th place. Elijah Gable of Heartland Christian, who was there, finishing at 11th place at this point. So anyway, a great tournament yesterday. Like I said, a lot of competition out on the golf course with a lot of really good golfers, which resulted in a really tight race in the team standings. But Goodland prevailing with a team score of 355, led by the combination of Trent Sheldon and Barrett Schlosser. And then Oakley finishing in second, led by Easton Fink, who won the tournament individually with the low round of 74. Hoxie finishing in third with a 365, led by Noah Dow, who shot an 84. And then Scott City finishing in fourth, 12 strokes back of Goodland, led by Jackson Rumford, who shot an 85. So there's your Goodland Invitational yesterday. Very, very competitive tournament, which saw the Cowboys take home first place. Let's transition to the Diamond. We'll stick in Goodland. It was a tough day for the Goodland Cowgirl softball team. They were at home hosting Hayes TMP. And I think everybody kind of knew going in that, Garden City this past Friday and then TMP this Tuesday, they were going to be challenging games. They were going to be difficult to win, but hopefully they could battle well. And really, the Cowgirls, to an extent, really played well in one game and struggled in the second really badly. Game number 1, the Cowgirls lose 3-1, a very tight game. Goodland only had 3 hits in that first game against Hayes TMP. So offense really did not get going all day. In fact, you could say the Cowgirls had just 4 hits all afternoon yesterday in their home opener at Ray Dye Field, 4 combined hits, but did not really get going, but were able to score a run, and defensively and pitching-wise were very solid there in that first game against Hayes TMP, as they went out there and allowed just 5 hits and 3 runs, and just one of them earned with 5 strikeouts. Did Goodland pitching there in game number 1. And then in game 2, it was over before he blinked. It was over in 3 innings, as Cowgirls allowed 23 runs on 18 hits, with just 9 of them earned. And then once again, couldn't get the offense going, so ended up losing the 23-0 in 3 innings, the final score there against Hayes TMP. So Cowgirls were swept. And once again, we talked about yesterday about the Goodland Cowboy baseball team struggling with errors, and that is starting to be an issue it's been an issue for the Goodland Cowgirls all season long. I mean, GHS had 11 committed errors in that second game against Hayes TMP, 11. Cannot win games, baseball or whatever, when you have the mental errors and the self-inflicted wounds. Talked about it yesterday. Cannot do it. Have to be better in that department if you're going to win. And like I said yesterday, if you want to try and overcome shady defense and poor defense, you better rack up a lot of runs. And when you combine for 4 hits against a really good TMP team, that's going to be a challenge to do, a real challenge. So 14 combined errors yesterday for Goodland Cowgirls softball, and that's going to be very, very difficult to overcome. So GHS, once again, with a couple of losses there. They have now dropped 5 in a row. They are just 1-7 on the season. 1-7 on the season. They'll try to get right. Coming up here, would have been a week from yesterday, Tuesday, they got a game series at Ulysses coming up here next for Goodland Cowgirls softball. Better day on the diamond for Colby Lady Eagles softball. They picked up a sweep of Scott City, 9-4 in game number 1, and then 6-5 they held on in game number 2. Game 1, an explosion of 5 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning, put them up 5-0. Scott would battle back. They'd get 4 runs combined over the 5th and 6th innings, but Colby got 4 more insurance runs in the bottom of the 6th. Despite not really a lot of offense, 9 runs on 5 hits for Colby. Scott City had 4 runs on 3 hits. Kleinssorg goes out there and has a 3 RBI day. I think it's Briley Kleinssorg had a 3 RBI day there in game number 1 to lead the Colby Lady Eagle offense. And then in game number 2, Sadie Cheney, 3-hit day, 3 RBIs, pair of doubles mixed in there. She had a huge game powering the Lady Eagles. In a tighter game where Colby got out early, Scott City kind of got back in it late. But Colby able to prevail despite having 3 errors in that second game against Scott City, who had none. But a sweep for Colby, 9-4 and 6-5. We'll get more details on that game with our guest today, Tucker Branham, joining us in about 10-15 minutes here on the Morning Blitz. But pretty good showing. Colby now 8-4 on the season with games coming up here against Hugoton. A week from yesterday, on Tuesday. A week from coming up here on Tuesday, got games against Hugoton. Baseball for Colby was in action yesterday. They had not played in a while because their games against Russell were forfeited. And so they were in action yesterday down at Scott City. And Colby unable to get one of those games. They were swept. Game 1 was highly entertaining. Kind of a back and forth game. Scott City led 4-0. Colby scored 4 runs in the top of the 5th, but Scott City got another couple of runs in the 5th and another couple of runs in the 5th and the 6th. Colby would take the lead tie the game up there. No, took the lead, in the top of the 7th, 7-6. But Scott City scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th to come back and get the win, 8-7. So a tough day at the office there in game number 1 as the Eagles got walked off there in game number 1, losing 8-7. And then game number 2, it was all Scott City. Errors racked up for Colby. They committed 5 errors, and their offense was just not there. Had 3 combined hits. One of them was a double by Braden Frost, who drove in the lone run. But they just could not find a way to solve Scott City pitching as they were beaten 11-1 in just 5 innings and out-hit 15-3. So that was a tough day, a tough afternoon on the mound for Burvey, the starting pitcher for Colby, as he got shelled by Scott City batters, I should say, but 15-3 in hits and 11-1 loss. And so Colby baseball with the losses drops down to what is 7-4 here on the season. And then you have a little bit of track from field from yesterday. It was a very busy day. I didn't see any final team results from the Tri-Plains Brewster track invite over at Colby. I do know that Goodland and Colby, we're over here running at the Goodland Track Invitational. Colby girls took home first place there at the track invite, which was good. Colby boys finishing in 3rd place in the boys standing. Goodland finishing 4th in the boys standing. And Goodland girls, I think, finishing in 4th as well in the standings of the 5 teams that race. So, let's say it wasn't the best day, of course, for running track, but everyone had running it with the windy conditions at times, although it kind of died down a little bit later on. But once again, I thought the highlight there was Colby girls winning the Goodland Track Invitational. But the real story in track and field yesterday was down at Ness City. Quinter boys and girls, they've been just a dominant program in track and field for a long time. They've been great in cross country as well. They've just had great running programs over there at Quinter. And they went down to Ness City yesterday and won the track invitational. Boys running away with it. They won by close to 70 points in the final team standings. But the girls much closer, as it probably was expected to be. Ness City's got a really good track program themselves on the girls' side here recently. But Quinter was able to edge the host Eagles by 8 points. 8 points total. So Quinter, boys and girls, both taking first at the Ness City Track Invitational yesterday there in local sports. So there you go. A quick look at what happened yesterday in local sports, everything that I could at least track down and find from yesterday in the local sports scene. So very, very busy day. I was going to take a quick peek and look what's ahead today. On the 16th, you've got a little bit of a JUCO softball today. Colby Community College on the road at Hutch for a doubleheader today. That'll be a tough one. Hutch, one of the better programs this season in the Jayhawk. Fort Hays Tech Northwest scheduled to be home here in Goodland, hosting Dodge City for a doubleheader. Those are two of the events going on today on this Wednesday. So there's a look at the local sports recap here on this Wednesday morning. Let's get to an early break here, and then we will bring on Tucker Branham. He is the head coach of the softball team there at Colby High School. He'll join us next and discuss their season so far. Really, really good season at this point in time, 8-4. Get his thoughts on that and much, much more coming up. Another reminder, folks, that coming up here this Friday, there will be no show. That's a programming note. No show Friday because, once again, of our NWKS radio auction. You want to go to nwksradio.net and click on the green box where you see the NWKS radio auction, and then click on that. You can find the sale bill. You can find tons of information and pictures on items and stuff and services that we have. There is a ton of stuff. I've spent the last 2 days pretty much going through all the items and getting them ready to be auctioned off. So trust me, a lot of great stuff we have and a lot of unique things and some fun things and some big items as well. So be prepared and go study up on what you might want to possibly get a great deal on from us here at NWKS Radio and our great sponsors and area businesses. Okay, 7:27 now here in the Mountain Time Zone, 8:27 Central Time. Back with Tucker Branham of Colby High School softball next. This is the Morning Blitz.
Get ready for powerful deals at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Right now, drive home a 25 GMC Sierra 1500 Turbo Max with 0.9% financing or up to $7,800 in purchase allowance. Step up in luxury in a 2025 Sierra 1500 Denali and get up to $5,250 in purchase allowance. Or take on any job with the 25 Sierra 2500 with 3.9% APR or up to $2,700 in purchase allowance. These offers won't last. Rush into Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland today or shop online at hurlchev.com.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning, this is Kate Thompson with the Anderson Trade Group. Today is Wednesday, April 16th. On the overnights last night, May corn higher 3 3/4 at 485, July up 3 1/2 at 493, September up 2 3/4 at 459, December corn up 2 3/4 at 467. May soybeans up 2 1/2 on the overnight at 1038 1/2, July up 2 1/2 at 1049, August up 2 3/4 at 1044 3/4, September beans up 1 1/4 at 1026 3/4. Chicago wheat, the May contract higher at 6 1/2 on the overnights at 548 1/2, July up 6 1/2 at 562 1/2, September up 6 cents at 576 1/4. Kansas City wheat, the May contract higher 7 1/4 at 560 1/4, July up 5 cents at 573 1/2, September up 4 1/4 at 588 1/4, December hard wheat up 3 3/4 on the overnights at 612. On the stock market this morning, the Dow down $140 at 40,601. The S&P down 16 at 5,424. The Nasdaq down 43 at 18,891. Gold higher at $6 an ounce at 3,232. Crude oil down 53 cents a barrel at $61. If you have any questions about marketing grain or would like to talk about risk management options, give our Colorado office a call, John Hannity or John Stiles at 970-744-4484. Or in our Kansas City office, myself, Tom Pluto, Jared Law, or Tyler Ghosh at 913-748-3000.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor and or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
Farmers and ranchers, are you looking to sell your equipment at auction for 0 fees and 0 commissions? Well, then you need to check out Hayden Outdoors' new online equipment auction platform. You can list your equipment in our monthly online auctions using our easy-to-use platform, and you don't pay any fees or commissions. Visit HaydenOutdoors.com to learn more. That's HaydenOutdoors.com.
Lumber ready to go. Plus, fire up the fun with their selection of grills and griddles. Hoover's is also proud to sponsor the Pioneer 5K, 10K, half and full marathon supporting Colby Community College cross country on April 26th and remind you to sign up and participate. It's Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby, your one-stop shop for spring.
It's the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
Hey everyone, come and see how good I look.
Your daily dose of sports.
Continuing on a Wednesday program here on April the 16th. Once again, going to be a partly cloudy, mostly sunny day. Temperature is going to get into the low 80s. And not as much wind as we saw yesterday or expected for tomorrow. Thanks again to our listeners chiming in on the EpiBank text line. Michael and Jared will get the thoughts on both those topics coming up here in our third segment. Going to keep it local, though, here in segment 2, as we're pleased to welcome onto the program our first-time guest. That would be head coach of the Colby Lady Eagles softball program in his second season. That's Tucker Branham, who joins us now. Tucker, good morning. How are we doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Tucker, I really appreciate you sneaking out of class. What are you teaching the kids today?
So right now we're talking about chords in a circle. So, but I got them going on their notes, and they're working on a quiz right now. So,
well, good. We're glad that you could sneak away for just a little bit and talk about the season your Lady Eagles are having. I tell you, it's been a really good start to the year. 8-4. If you're not counting the 2 games, of course, prior to getting those Jamboree games. And how big do you think those Jamboree games, those games against Larned and Ellis, helped your team get prepared for this season?
Yeah, it's huge for us. We don't have a ton of numbers, and so it's kind of hard for us to scrimmage a little bit at practice. And other squads that have enough to field 2 teams at once. You can throw a lot more live and play some defense behind it. And so I think we started the year with 15, and so it's tough to do that when it takes 9 to field. And so those 2 Jamborees are big for us. We get to go see some pitching and compete a little bit and play under a little bit of pressure. And this year they created some different scenarios. We started with runners in scoring position 1 inning and had it started with a 1-1 count and all those different things. So it was really good for us to kind of get rolling with a little bit of pressure and be able to compete against somebody besides ourselves. So.
Well, how did it feel, though? You got a couple wins in that Jamboree, and then you had to take on, of course, a really big school in Liberal and get beat pretty badly. I mean, what was your thoughts after that series, that regular season opener where you lost 17-2 and 13? You're kind of like, uh-oh, or you're like, hey, you know what? Yeah. We're fine.
Yeah. Really, I when Betts asked me if I wanted to schedule Liberal, I said yeah, because I knew I wanted to see the pitching. And I knew that, they're a well-coached team. They're disciplined. They play really good defense. And sometimes that's a good eye-opener to say, hey, look, this is where we've got to be, And so we struggled defensively. That was kind of the story for us last year. And so although we don't like losing, we learned a lot from that game and really cleaned it up by the next week. We turned around and played Lakin the next day. Got a couple hard-fought wins, and then went back to work and was ready for Tuesday against Goodland. So,
no, you guys have certainly turned things around since that series opening loss, 8-4 on the season. We're visiting with Tucker Branham, head softball coach there for Colby High School in his second season for the Lady Eagles. One thing that stands out to me watching your team play, Tucker, is their ability to hit. How do you guys become such a good hitting team?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is mentality. A lot of these girls, we take a ton of cuts. And I tell them all the time, when we're in practice and I'm coaching in practice, that's where we critique things. That's where we can think about things. That's the time to really evaluate what you're doing and correct things like that. But when we get to the game, there's no room for extra thought in there. It's get in the box, see it, and hit it. I tell them from the third base box all the time, hey, see it and hit it. You do it every day, and so I think a lot of it's mentality. But we're also really fortunate. We've got, anytime there's bad weather, we get to go into the Blue Barn out at the college. They do a really good job of working us in there, even if it's at 7:00 at night for an hour. And so that helps us a ton. We get a ton of cuts in there. We even have a parent who's purchased a pitching machine, a personal one, but anytime we want to use it, he hauls it up there for us and lets us use it. So we're really fortunate. We got a lot of support. But I think the biggest thing is in getting it to translate to the game is just, believing in your preparation and getting in the box and doing what you know how to do. So
how much do you think your girls, or how much do you know the girls, do they get in there and use it through maybe the offseason? I know a lot of your girls, of course, are multi-sport athletes, and that's awesome. But maybe sneak away for maybe it's a Sunday afternoon, something, go out there and get a half hour worth of cuts in or something like that. Because that's the advantage of having that facility out there. Is you can get out there and use it all year round.
Right. Yeah, I would say most of them. Most of them are finding a way to hit. Whether if it's a nice day, they're out at the cage at the field. If it's not, throughout the winter and stuff, they're always working. And yeah, like you said, having that thing year round has really helped both of our programs here at the high school. I mean, baseball, softball, everybody gets to use it. And so, yeah, no, it definitely really helped. I think a lot of our girls go in there and use it. So.
Once again, we're visiting with Tucker Branham, head coach of the Colby High School softball team. By the way, the Lady Eagles batting .378 after their series down at Scott City. What were your thoughts on yesterday's sweep of the Beavers? Those are some tight contested games that your girls were able to pull out.
Yeah. I thought we competed hard. It kind of seemed like here lately, ironically, we've actually kind of been in a little bit of a slump, I think, hitting wise. We find a way to get on base, and sometimes we're missing a few clutch hits here and there. But we continue to compete, and we had a couple innings there where we threw up some crooked numbers and was able to get the win. And I've been preaching to them all year that sometimes pitching and defense wins games, actually all the time. So just one of those things where we had to get tough a little bit. We seem to like to make it interesting, but I told him after the game that I get to go do my post game and talk about 2 wins, but we also get to learn something. And so, one thing moving forward that we're focused on is we can't have one of those innings where we kind of fall apart against a good team, because it's going to be tough to come back from. So.
Yeah, no doubt. You brought a very interesting point. There's a lot of teams that can get on base, whether it's hit by pitches or walks, or maybe it's just a seeing eye single or something like that. But how do you go about teaching your girls, like, hey, we got to have, though, like you said, the clutch hits? How do you go about getting the clutch hits to come through?
Yeah, I think a lot of things we simulate that in practice a lot, and 2-out hits are big. A lot of runs scored, and it could change the momentum of a game. But you get somebody to come up with a 2-out hit, and especially drive in a couple runs, take the lead or extend your lead, that really builds momentum. And so we simulate that a lot in practice. Just working on, again, it's a mentality thing, I believe. We do it every day. We practice it all the time. And so just getting in the box and having fun and finding your pitch. And the girls do a great job of that. I mean, we don't try to do too much. We just get in the box and find our pitch and hit it. So.
Once again, our guest is Tucker Branham on the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware Hotline. Ryler Carter, how much improvement have you seen from her from freshman year to sophomore year in the circle?
Oh, a tremendous amount. A lot of it is she's grown so much mentally, just being able to compete and play under some of that pressure. She's an excellent pitcher. And so to me, the biggest improvement that I've seen is just her ability to continue to work regardless of the circumstance. Sometimes we like to boot the ball around, and that's just kind of how this game goes. And so she's really been able to rebound and just stay focused in there and keep doing her job. And so to me, that's where she's shown the most improvement in the circle.
She really is putting up some ridiculous numbers for only being a sophomore. She really is having a phenomenal season with an ERA under 2.
Yeah. She she came to me after the Russell game and said, "Hey, I'm ready to throw both." Because we have Carly too, and Carly Hill. She does a great job for us in the circle. I think both of our pitchers are throwing above a 65% strike percentage, which, as a coach, that's all you can ask for: throw strikes and play defense. And we're most definitely throwing a lot of strikes. But that just goes back to the mentality thing and just growing so much mentally, she came to me and said, "Hey, I want to throw both. I'm ready to do this." And she did just that. So.
Tucker Branham, our guest, Colby High School softball coach on the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware Hotline. A few more for you here, Tucker. Was curious, what do you want to see improved upon here over the next couple of weeks? We're right now in the middle of the season. You know, everyone should be starting to kind of get into a groove. What do you hope to see the most improvement out of your team over the next couple of games?
Yeah, for sure. I think the one thing that I'd really like to see us do is just be able to keep our foot on the gas a little bit. You know, even yesterday in those two games that we won, I can't remember if it was the 5th or the 6th inning. That first game we were up 5 runs and just kind of fell asleep and had a little bit of a fall apart inning there with a couple errors and allowed a few runs to score and really gave Scott City some life and made those games a little bit closer than what they had been the entire game. And so as far as moving down the stretch, I hope that we can figure out a way to keep people down and just keep playing with momentum and really see where it takes us. But
Tucker, what's it been like coming back and coaching at your alma mater, even though it may not be in baseball but in softball? What has that been like?
It's been awesome. You know, the support from the community and parents, my admin, teachers in the building. It's been awesome. You know, we run a pizza fundraiser every winter to try to raise some money to get some uniforms and stuff like that. And the girls are always going around asking teachers, and I mean, everybody supports. We've had a ton of fans out at the games, and it's really been an honor. Honestly, I'm truly blessed to be able to come back here and coach all 3 sports that I coach. It's been a lot of fun for me. So.
How unique is it to coach alongside a lot of guys that you went to school with? You know, you got a lot of young coaches over there in Colby, whether it's you or, you know, Todd Kane or Cole Garcia. You know, a lot of guys that kind of, to an extent, went to school somewhat around the same time to an extent. What's that been like?
Yeah, it's really neat, actually. So I'm kind of in that scenario in all the sports that I coach. You know, so when I started coaching football, I coached under Coach McKinney, who coached me, him and Coach Sims, you know, and then in wrestling, Coach Garcia was actually a coach of mine as well, as well as, you know, Sims and McKinney. So I got to coach with guys that coached me as an athlete. And, you know, the awesome part about softball is Coach Mary McLaughlin, she's one of my assistants. She actually played for the college under my dad. And so as a little kid, I watched her play college softball, playing on one of my dad's teams here at CCC. And now we're coaching together at the high school level. So it's been really neat. It's a fun experience. And I've learned a lot of things from all of those people as an athlete, and then as a coach underneath of them. And I think it's really helped me navigate this as a head coach myself. So
that's got to be an interesting dynamic, you know, being the head coach for someone that you watched growing up play who's an assistant underneath you.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, I don't know. It is interesting. We talked about it. But when she said she wanted to be an assistant, I thought, absolutely. I mean, it was really cool. It's kind of fun. So
what's been the biggest, or what, I don't know, you know, baseball and softball are very similar, but, you know, you being a baseball guy and playing baseball and being a really good baseball player in your time there at Colby and going up to play some in college, I mean, what's been the biggest thing, you know, trying to transition from baseball to softball? What's been the biggest challenge?
You know, I think the 2 biggest things would probably be the adjustment of pace of play a little bit. You know, a ground ball comes at you a lot faster, and there's not as much time for air or bobble, and so that's one of the biggest things. You know, and in baseball at third base, you can knock a ball down off your chest and still make a play. In softball, you don't have time for that. You know, we got to be clean. You got to be focused. And in, you know, the next thing, this one's obvious, but pitching. So that's something that I'm really thankful for my assistants, you know, Chansley and Mary. They've obviously been around it. They've done it. And so they really kind of take control of the pitching aspect of things, because obviously that's not something I'm very familiar with. So.
Understandably so. Tucker Branham, head coach of the Colby High School Lady Eagles, 8-4 on the season on the Hoover Lumber Hardware Hotline. Tucker, thank you so much for sneaking away from class for a little bit. Appreciate your time and expertise. Good luck with the rest of the season. We'll catch up soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Ross. Thanks for having me.
You betcha. Once again, great stuff there from Tucker Branham, head coach of the Colby Lady Eagles. Yeah, so funny he talks about the pace of play because I find that to be an issue with me when I'm broadcasting personally. Because, baseball is a slower tempo. You have your time to do that, talk about things. But softball, you got to be on your P's and Q's. You got to be moving. And so going from baseball to softball broadcasting is sometimes a hard transition. All right, we'll get to a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up some thoughts in segment 3 with thoughts on what's going on at Colorado with Travis Hunter, who is got some interesting comments as he gets ready to get drafted, probably number 1 in the NFL draft. We'll get some thoughts on that next. You're listening to a Wednesday edition of the Morning Blitz. Stick around.
Yes, Colby and Goodland Automotive is your local CarQuest Auto Parts dealer. But you might not know that they are your Traeger Grill headquarters in Northwest Kansas. They not only sell all models of Traeger grills, but they have all, and I do mean all, the Traeger accessories. Seasonings? Check. Accessories such as rib racks, insulation blankets, and covers? Check, check, check. Pellets of all flavors, even ones you've never heard of? Check to that as well. They even have repair parts. If it's Traeger, they got it at Colby and Goodland Automotive, the Traeger headquarters in Northwest Kansas.
At FNB Bank, we know family comes first. Whether you're opening a savings account for your kids, buying a new home, or planning for the future, we're here to help every step of the way. With personalized service and flexible options, we make banking easy for your growing family. FNB Bank, serving families, strengthening communities. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Rip for now, and it needs replaced. Who you gonna call?
Roof Masters!
Roof Masters Roofing at Colby has been your premier roofing contractor for over 40 years, offering free estimates on all types of roofs, as well as seamless rain gutters and vinyl siding. So give us a call today. What's that number, Jake?
462-6642. I think you better call
Roof Masters!
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The insurance agency. Insurance the way it should be.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV? What? No way, dude.
Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
If you need renter's insurance, see me, Shelter Agent Brent Wood in Goodland.
From the latest scores to the hottest takes,
60% of the time, it works every time.
we're bringing the game to you. You're tuned in to the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
Thank you again to Tucker Branham for joining the program on the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware Hotline. Really appreciate his thoughts. A couple questions coming in on the FB Bank text line and some thoughts and comments. Listener Debbie wants to know, why is the pace different between softball and baseball? I guess it just depends on the person. I think it's a faster game. Once again, like Tucker was saying, it's a lot closer. So, the bases are all closer. And so a hit, you got to be faster with the, with fielding and getting it to first. It's just quicker. And I don't know, it just seems like the pitches in between, in between every pitch is just a more faster tempo, getting the ball, quicker to home plate. Baseball, guy, throw the ball, take a walk around the mound, batter steps out. You have some time in between. There's just more in between the pitches. Feel like softball's a bit faster paced than that. And then, of course, with the hits, it's a lot. There's a bounding ball to third, ball picked up by so-and-so, throws to first, he's out. You can just hear it. Whereas softball, slap ball hits second base, throws flip first. You just hear it because it's a lot closer. The field is smaller, all that stuff. That's why I think it's a faster paced game. And that's why it's an interesting transition, because in baseball, you're kind of taking your time. You have more time to tell stories if you want to. And, softball, it's just more about just the action. It's quicker pace, which is why a lot of people like it. And it's a growing sport. I would say that's why a lot of people are really tuning in to watch like the Women's College World Series stuff. They love watching it because it's a faster pace than baseball. Although baseball is making the corrections to try and get out there and make the game faster pace, and they've done a decent job of that. I'll give baseball some credit there. They have picked up the pace with the pitch clock and things of that sort. Let's see here. My listener Michael, he brings up a comment here talking about Tyron Stokes visiting KU this weekend. Number 1 basketball recruit in 2026. Word is going to declassify or reclassify to 2025. I don't think declassify, reclassify, Michael. To 2025. He's not like he's got a secret passcode or something like that, the classified information. But 2025 and play alongside Darren Peterson. So you could have 2 of the top 22 number 1 players playing next to one another in Stokes and Peterson along with Flory. That'd be cool. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see if it happens. So yes, to get to that. Once again, folks, don't forget ndbksradio.net, the place to go to get your radio auction sale bill. It is up there now currently for the radio auction coming up on Friday. And once again, no show on Friday here on the Morning Blitz. Before we get to the topic of Travis Hunter, I want to quickly highlight baseball. Royals lose again last night in New York, 4-2. Michael Wacha, 5 2/3, just 4 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 4 strikeouts, a couple of walks. The biggest issue for the Royals right now is offense. They cannot hit the ball. They have, of the starting lineup that started yesterday for the Royals against the Yankees, they have 3 guys, 3 out of 9, that hit above the Mendoza line. That's 200 for those who are, what's the Mendoza line? 200 batting average and above. There's the 200 batting average is the Mendoza line. 3 guys bat above it. And only one of them, and of those 3 guys, one of them is batting at 206. So just barely. Michael Garcia bats 276. Bobby Witt Jr. is the most impressive one at 313, who had an RBI hit last night as well. And then Salvador Perez, 206. Everybody, Vinny Pasquantino, 194. Michael Massey, 175. Hunter Renfroe, 119. MJ Melendez, 0.093. Freddie Fermin, 167. And Calvin Biggio, 179. Now, some of those guys don't play consistently all the time, but man, woo, that's rough. That's rough. Kansas City cannot hit the ball. Got to be able to hit the ball. Got to drive in runs. Can't hit the ball. The Rockies actually have better batting averages up and down their lineup, but they continue to lose. They lost 6-2 to the Dodgers, so they'll try and avoid a sweep today. Jacob Stallings with a 2 RBI double in the 4th inning was the lone runs for the Rockies. Ryan Feltner was bad on the mound last night, just 2 2/3, 5 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 6 walks in Major League Baseball. 6. Can't have that from a pitcher in Major League Baseball. 6 walks. This is not high school or T-ball, or sorry, not even T-ball. It's not whatever. It's not ponies or K-18. Can't have 6 walks out there. This is the big leagues. Not good from Ryan Feltner, but Rockies, by the way, 3-14, worst record in baseball, 1-10 on the road. Both teams will wrap up their series against their respective teams tonight. You've got the Royals, which will be taking on the Yankees. It's a first pitch time, 6:05 Central, AM 790 KXXX. Rockies on AM 730 KLOE, first pitch time of 8:10 Mountain on KLOE against the Dodgers, trying to avoid sweeps are the Royals and the Rockies. But offense has got to get going for Kansas City, and the Rockies need a prayer. They need prayers. That's what the Rockies need. Okay, news yesterday coming out of the NFL draft and stuff surrounding possibly the number 1 overall pick in Travis Hunter. former Colorado Buffalo. Of course, we talked about his numbers and how impressive he is, getting his number retired here just 3.5 months after his career is over at Colorado. Heisman Trophy winner. Okay. But he made a statement yesterday when asked about if teams said that that they will not let him play both sides of the ball, just play one side, play offense or just play defense. And Travis Hunter's quote to that to CBS Sports says, it's never, my answer to that is I'm never playing football again because I've been doing it my whole life. I love being on the football field. I feel like I could dominate on each side of the ball. So I really enjoy doing it. So what is he going to do if they say you can only play defense? He's quitting. Hunter, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do for the rest of your life if you quit? Well, how are you going to make money? You're barely 21, 22 years old. What are you going to do for the next 60 years of your life? If you're not going to play football, you're going to go try something else? I know you're a phenomenal athlete. Maybe you could. But, I mean, come on, dude. What are we talking about? What are we talking about here? I do not understand. I do not understand this in any way, shape, or form. Jared chiming in, of course, a Buffalo fan saying, I don't know why he'd rather retire than play both ways. I don't know. I feel like it's either, well, you can either play this game or you can get turned down. And this is where once, I understand power to the players. I get that. But, this is where the coaches, and we saw it earlier this week with Tennessee coaches and administrations got to stand up and say, you know what? Fine. You don't want to do that? There's the door. Get yourself together, man. Get yourself together. I don't know. He is an unbelievable player. I think he should be able to play both ways if he wants to. But you know what? There are teams out there that are like, we would rather you just focus on your craft in one position and become, all pro in that than try and sit there and play both ways and be okay or decent in both spots. That's what they want. So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it's certainly a very interesting time with covering these kids who think that they need to control the world and whatever they say is what they're going to do, and it's fine. Like I said, I think it'd be fun if a franchise drafted him and said, "Well, we want you to play this." Okay. Here's the thing: some franchise, and more than likely, like the Raiders or something like that. I mean, some franchise, no matter what's going to say, yes, you can play both ways because we want you here. So it's not like it's that big a deal, but at the same time, I don't know why he thinks he has to hold the cards to everything. Jared also chimes in about our topic yesterday, talking about the football jersey retirement. I actually have a segment planned for, I think tomorrow we're going to try and get to that, talking about the jersey retirement some more, because Jared is on my side saying he doesn't know if he understands why in the world they're retiring guys 3.5 months after their careers are over. I actually have a thought on one of those guys. Look, I think Travis Hunter is certainly worthy of a jersey retirement. And I'm not saying Shedeur is not, but I do have some questions on the more of the Shedeur one than I do the Travis Hunter one. So we'll get some thoughts on that on tomorrow's program. All right, that'll do it. We got to get to the walk-off.
And back lifts his ball high and deep to right. How about local Brady? Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes flings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
All right, as we wrap up the show here, the reminder today in local sports, you've got Colby Community College softball on the road at Hutch for a doubleheader, and a doubleheader here in Goodland as Fort Hays Tech Northwest hosts Dodge City Community College. An interesting story and a neat story to continue to follow the career of former Northwest Tech basketball coach, former Goodland High grad Jace Hurl, as he continues to make his way up the coaching ranks. Of course, Coach Hurl was at Northwest Tech for a long time as the head coach, then was down at South Plains and being a lead assistant there, and made his way up made this jump to Division I at Colorado State underneath Larry Eustace. Then was actually the head coach for a few games there with Larry Eustace being let go at Colorado State. Then wound up recently being down at North Texas for the last couple of years there, and then has followed the North Texas coach now to West Virginia. And so Jace Hurl now in Morgantown, West Virginia, in the Big 12, and he'll be coaching West Virginia, including Hoxie native Harlan Obioa. So a little bit of a Northwest Kansas tie there as well. So Jace Hurl to Morgantown. We'll have to get Coach Hurl on the show sometime here in the coming weeks and talk about his transition once again from North Texas and going to the Big 12 to West Virginia. But congratulations, Jace Hurl. I just saw a couple days ago that it was official that he is now an assistant with West Virginia there in Morgantown. Pretty darn cool. Pretty darn cool to see a guy work his way up the coaching ranks like Jace Hurl has done. Okay, that'll do it for our program here on this Wednesday. Thanks again to Tucker Brandon for joining us on the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware Hotline. We'll be back again tomorrow for a Thursday show. And once again, that'll be the final show of the week, as Friday, no show. We have the NWKS radio auction going on. And once again, go to nwksradio.net to find the sale bill or text the word auction to our text line. We'll see you back here tomorrow in 23 hours. It's been the Blitz.
Rocket 102.5 is KKCI Goodland.